Okay, Dan Fitzpatrick here, stockmarketmentor.com. And we're looking at Micron today. Now, this stock has been on a tear since the last earnings report. It's more than doubled. Like from back here, they report 478, by the way, 478 a share in earnings. So as of today, the high, it was up 112%. So the company reports earnings and they're something like stupid, like they're stupid high. Um, I'm kind of looking through here. Sorry, I should have had this crap figured out. I thought it was right here. Anyway, so their gross margin doubled, okay, or almost doubled. That's awesome. Their capex increased a lot. That's yeah. When there's a lot of demand for your stuff, then that's what's going on. And this is probably one of the reasons why the stock has why the stock's selling off is they had great earnings, but they've got kind of a higher capital expenditure. But anyway, so this is what I'm saying. Their EPS guidance is 1875. I think their guidance here, I thought I had it off the top of my head, but I don't. I just checked. Let's just say from here, I think it's like to 12 something or other. This is a monster increase, but this is a sell the news market right now. So here's what we're going to do actually. Like here's what I did today. I own some of this stock and I put on what's called a covered strangle, where I sold actually not the 500, but I sold the 505 calls that expire on Friday. And I sold actually the 430 puts on this. So I'll fix this box here. And so as long as the stock tomorrow stays within this box, the options that I sold are going to expire worthless. And that's awesome. And they also then they will pay down my cost. This is a member's cost basis. I think mine's about there, maybe 450. It's the same, but they'll pay down the cost basis on the stock here. And so you could say, oh crap, you bought it 451.50 and now it's at 439. Yeah, but if you took in like 11 or 12 bucks in premium that you're going to be able to take off the table on Friday, then what you really do is say like, well, let's just do that again next week. And so that's the way you can trade a stock like this. And by the way, I'm actually going to be online tomorrow morning with our 59-minute traders trading the opening rotation. So we'll be trading this. We'll be trading SanDisk. We'll be trading Western Digital. I don't know what that is. We'll be trading Seagate. All of these stocks should give us a pretty big move tomorrow. So I'm going to be there. Hopefully you will be too. If you're a 59-minute trader alumni, you definitely should be there because of course, nothing's ever promised, but I'm pretty sure we're going to make some money. And so you can go to the homepage and get more information on that, or just talk to Karen. Reach out to Karen at stockmarketmentor.com. Okay, that's all I got for you. I hope you all had a great day and have an even awesomer weekend and evening.